Hello and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook and this is The Hunter, Call of the Wild. Yes, it's a hunting simulation game which I've been playing a fair bit of lately. I'm really enjoying it, so I thought I'd just show it to you and you could see if you're interested in it or not and go take it from there. Basically, I also want to make this a little bit of a tutorial so that if you're a new player you kind of know some things that I wish I knew when I started playing it. So basically, there are two maps to choose from. This is the one set in North America, which is called the Lake District map. And there is also another map called, I forget what it's called actually, but it's a European map. It's set in Germany and it's got some very German name, which I can't pronounce. I would suggest, if you're a new player, that you start on this map, because I found this map to be heaps easier for a starting player. This was the first map introduced into the game. The other one has been added since. So yeah, I started on the other map, and there are some things that make the other map, I think, a lot harder than this one for a starting player. But anyway, let me show you what you have in this game. You have a variety of weapons. So you have rifles. So when you start the game, you will have just this one here, the Ranger .243 gun, and it's a free gun, and the ammunition for it is free as well, I believe. And you basically... It takes a few shots sometimes to take out bears, unless you hit him in the heart or something, or the brain maybe. So, and then you can progress to, say, this gun here, the 2.27 Huntsman, which is a great gun, and it's much easier to take out deer and things with this gun. This gun here, the smaller gun, which you actually have to buy in the game, is good for taking out things like foxes and coyotes, smaller game. Now, the reason you would say bother to use this gun instead of a more powerful gun on a coyote is you get scores based on how quickly you kill the animal, on the trophy value of the animal and the size of the animal and the difficulty of the animal, that sort of thing. So you get different scores based on that. But you also get what I think it's called integrity. And if you use a really high caliber weapon on something that's small, then you don't get as much of an integrity bonus. Where if you use a weapon that's sort of, of a similar level to the animal that you're shooting, you will get a better bonus. So that's why you would choose a smaller rifle. The best gun in the game, I find, for most things is the 7mm. It takes a while to unlock that gun. So you have to get a certain amount of XP to unlock some weapons, and then you have to have the cash to buy them as well, which is not too difficult, and the progression seems quite fair to me. The 7mm will take out things like a bear with a well-placed shot, or a moose, and also keeps integrity on a lot of things. Kind of loses it. Smaller deer, it doesn't work, but elk and moose and bears and stuff, it's pretty good. So that's probably the most versatile gun, but at the start you won't have access to it. You also have ammunition, so here's rifle ammunition that you can unlock. Pretty much every type of rifle and pistol, for that matter, has pretty much two choices of ammunition. You get, so this is the starting gun. You start off with the soft point bullets, which are free, and then you can also get the polymer bullets, which cost a little bit. I think it's $5.30 for 10 rounds or something. In every single rifle I've tried so far, the polymer tip bullet is always better. Always does more damage. Doesn't matter the target you're shooting at. And some of them don't have polymer tip. They have what they call a hard nose or whatever. The hard nose and the bullet with higher penetration always does better, which is kind of a bit weird. You would think, especially on smaller or more lightly muscled game, that the soft point bullet would do more damage, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So it's always better to get the higher penetrating bullet. So that's just a tip for people who are new to the game. You also have handguns. You start off with this one, but you can unlock the other two, which you can see already done. You also have shotguns in the game. There's a double barrel and a 6-shot pump action. And there's bows in the game as well. For starting players, you get this bow here, and the bow is particularly powerful when you start. So I would suggest, for a starting person, you can get these arrows right from the start of the game, the 420 grain, and they will take out most deer and stuff with a single shot. The only thing is you have to be really close, so you have to stalk or get them to come close to hiding in a bush and just hit them with the arrow, and it nearly always takes them down with one shot. The bow is great for a beginner if you can get close enough. So yeah, so it's that sort of stuff. You can also get different sights for all the guns. You start to unlock better sights, or yeah, you can zoom in a bit more as you get up. There's also different sights for handguns. These are True Vision tritium sights, which basically I think makes the sight sort of glow. Is bugged and doesn't work at the moment. The sight does work though. And you've got shotgun, same thing, tritium sights. Here's this one here, but you can see I haven't had enough XP with the shotgun yet. So you have to earn XP with the particular weapon to unlock the sights. So in other words, you have to earn so much shotgun XP to unlock shotgun sights and unlock shotgun ammunition. So shotgun ammo, you have birdshot for small things like coyotes, foxes, buckshot for deer and all that, and slugs for things like bears. And yeah, so you unlock all that stuff. Different sights for the bows as well. You've got callers, so you can call game using different range of callers. And once again, some of those you start with, like the deer bleat caller. Others you have to unlock. Clothing is kind of doesn't appear to have any effect on the game at the moment. It's just what you want to wear. There's different scent hiders to hide your scent, and there's different kinds of binoculars. Some have built-in rangefinders. So that gives you a bit of an idea of that. Then you have a backpack where you can transfer from things that you already own into your backpack to carry around with you. And let me see. This appears slightly bugged out, so I'm not even going to bother showing you that at the moment. You can buy downloadable content, which I haven't purchased, where you can purchase a quad bike to get around the map a bit quicker. It does take a long time to walk. This is walking speed. This is running speed. It does take a long time because the maps are huge. I am in. Where am I? There I am. I am here at the moment. That's me there. And this is one little area. You can unlock different areas of the map. And yeah. So the way the map works is you see these ones here. There's a couple still on this map with a question mark. That means there's a point of interest there, but I don't know what it is. When I get there, it could be a landmark, and I get XP for discovering that. Or it could be a hide or an elevated position that you could assemble. It costs credits to assemble it. And you can shoot animals from there. Currently in the game, hides are completely useless. There's no reason to use them. It does give you a bit of XP when you build them. The wind noises in the game are quite strong at the moment, you can hear. So yeah. What else can I tell you? So that's one. That was a question mark, but I've since discovered it. So you can see that now it becomes white, and that is a hunting structure that can be built, which I have already discovered, but I haven't built it. It would go white if I built it. And what else can I tell you? So basically, what you want to look for. This is an outpost. So I'm at an outpost at the moment where I can, where I can buy things. I can buy ammunition and all that sort of stuff, and swap ammunition into my backpack. And weapons and things, but you've got to find those and then travel to them. And the way you find them is you go to these, which is a lookout point. You go up the lookout. I'll show you a lookout later on, and you look out, and that will then reveal lots of these sort of question mark things on the map. And then it will also reveal things like this. This is a outpost which I have seen by climbing up this place here, this lookout. So I can see that it's there, but it's green, which means I haven't been there yet. Once you've been to them and unlocked them, you can then fast travel to them. So you just say there's one on the other side of the map here. I can there's an outpost there. I can just click on that, and it'll give the option I can fast travel to it. So yeah, there's that. But there's a lot of walking in this game, so the incentive to buy, I think it's pretty cheap. It's only about $4, but to buy the DLC with the quad bike is a strong incentive. I would suggest though, when you first get the game, try and resist that. It will annoy the heck out of you how long it takes to travel, but you actually learn a lot about the game, and you actually come across a lot of really interesting things. Like when you're running along, an animal will hear you, and it may call out a warning call. As soon as that happens, you basically just stop, hide, and start tracking it or calling it, because it does give away its position when it makes a warning call. When you're on a quad bike, you may not hear it, and you may miss a lot of things, that's all. And I just find that because I come across things fairly often, I don't really need the quad bike. I might get it later once I've discovered everything. So that's the site. You can zoom a little bit on different sites. This one starts off already fairly zoomed in. It's one of the higher ranked scopes, or it is the highest ranked scope. So you do get quests and missions and things in the game. I'll give you a bit of a look at that. So here's a mission log. I've had some missions here to give you a bit of an idea. Hopefully I'm not doing it. It's almost like a tutorial, and it does work better on the Lake District map, so that's why I suggest you do this one first. So it'll tell you, go and check out a lookout or something like that. So it's just basically teaching you the mechanics of the game. And then you'll have ones like some of them, this one here, I had to get some samples of bear poo. And this one I had to take a photo of more than one bear in the photo. That mission is actually bugged, but anyway. And then there's other missions where you have to kill things, like it might be kill a couple of deer or something, and then you might have harder ones later on, which might be kill a couple of white-tailed deer that have a certain trophy rating, so they have to be quite good, or have a certain body weight, which may be hard to find those deer and track them and kill them. And generally in the game, the higher rating animals are harder to track and harder to get to. So that's kind of good. At the moment, the mission I currently have is this one here, where I have to go to every area on the map. I think it's 5 or 6 areas. 1, 2, 3, 5 areas. And I have to kill a coyote in each area. And coyotes are probably the hardest thing to hunt currently on this map. Foxes are the hardest thing on the European map, but I've found foxes much harder than coyotes to hunt. They're a bit smaller, which is one thing. So they hide in the grass and stuff like that. So I think that's enough chit-chat. Actually, I will show you one thing that I wish I knew when I started this game. This is how to fit sights and things to your weapon. By default, you press the F2 key, which takes you to this menu here. Now, when you have a weapon, it won't show on your handy-dandy toolbar here. So obviously, if I press 1, I'll get that huntsman. If I press 2, I'll get my bow. If I press 3, I'll get my pistol, and I've got some callers in there and all that sort of stuff, right? You've got to put those in there. They don't just automatically go in there. And the way you do it is you go, okay, I'm going to give my pistol, I'm going to put that number 1. So I go there and I drag it, and that puts my pistol in number 1. It's actually moved my rifle, so it's swapped the two of them over. Can I swap it from here? Well, I can. There you go. So that's how you fit things. You drag them from here and put them at the same with callers. If you want to change a caller around, you grab it from here and drag it into the space you want to put it in. Same with binoculars, same with everything. Now, what really threw me was I would get a gun and I was trying to fit a sight to it. I accidentally took the sight off. I couldn't work out how to put it back on. So what you do is you click on your weapon down here. Just click on it. So that's my bow, for example. I'll go to the rifle because it's got more attachments available. And then you go, okay, I want to use soft point bullet. Click on it. I will now be using soft point bullets, even though I don't have them in my inventory. But I think if you're at the base and you click on it, I think it puts them in your inventory. I could be wrong there, because I don't actually have those on me at the moment. And then I can choose to use it for a different sight. If I click here, it means I'm going to do no scope, which can be good if they're really close range. If you're going to do a lot of close range, say coyote hunting, where you're getting really close to them and you want to hit them. So you click on that, and then it puts. You can see there, it's actually you actually see the weapon taken on and off, and you can change scopes and stuff like that. So there you go. That's how you do it. Like I say, it took me quite a while to work it out. The tutorial is a little bit rough, really, but it's okay. And you can always get on the internet and find out. There is an entire skill tree as well, so you can do things like you get better at tracking. You can get more information from tracking things. You can get a little bit better at camouflaging. You can get a bit more health if you want, because sometimes bears will maul you and moose will charge you and stuff like that. And but basically, most of the skills have to do with tracking. Some of these are for scents. You get sort of more goes out of a scent bottle and stuff like that. Yeah, so there's quite a few little bits and pieces. There's also, that's the skills. There's also perks which you get as you level up, which can help you reload faster and those sort of things like that. So yeah, that's a bit of fun as well. It helps to keep you motivated. And why don't we get into a little bit of gameplay anyway, to see what the game is actually like. For those who are interested, I'm running an i5 processor with it's running at 4.6 gigahertz, and I've got a 980 Ti card. Everything's water cooled, and I'm currently getting 66 frames per second. Now my recording program's probably taken about 10 frames off that. It's up to 70 frames now, so I'll probably be getting about 80 frames. I've got everything maxed out. So yeah, and I'm running at 1920 by 1200 is my screen resolution, so that'll give you a bit of an idea how the game runs. So you also have this little handy dandy tool here, which I found pretty useless, except it's good for tracking your missions. Currently I'm on the coyote missions, where I have to kill one in every district. I've done every district except one, and which is the northern range. So let's maybe try and do that mission. So I will select, here's the northern ridge here, you can see this area. So I will fast travel to one of the outposts there, and then we'll try and kill some coyotes. So I'll go to this one here. Traveling magically. Here we are. So I can check the time of day on my little handy dandy phone here, and it says it's 13:06, so it's just after 1 p.m. That's fine by me. I'm just basically going to go wherever. Now, if you look on the bottom right hand of the screen, you can see some symbols there. So one of them is a compass, and on the compass you can see a little green cone area. What that cone does is it shows you the wind direction. So wherever that cone is pointing, so if I'm like right now, I'm looking in the direction, so the wind, you can see little bits of stuff moving through the air, and it's going away from me. So the wind is currently at my back and blowing in that direction. If I have a look with my binoculars down that direction, anything basically within a sort of 100 meters of me can smell me. So that green area is really just showing you where the wind is blowing, so you know where your odor is traveling to, and anything, like I say, within about 100 meters will smell you and sometimes give off a warning call. Now you have got this thing, if I press number 8, I have a scent eliminator, which works for, I don't know, about 20 minutes or something like that. But then it wears off. You can, with some of the perks and skills, increase the duration, and you can also increase the number of squirts you get out of the bottle with perks and things. But basically, I think when you start, it's around about 20 minutes. I haven't upgraded it at all, but you don't get the scent eliminator when you start, and I don't use it very often. I only use it really, actually, when I'm hunting coyotes and foxes, because they do tend to circle you when they approach if you're calling them. Whereas deer just tend to run straight up to you, so they're easier. So that is something you've got to watch out your wind, and you may have to, if you know an animal's downwind of you, you may have to actually flank, like go around to outflank them so that they don't smell you when you approach them. So that's a bit of fun. So you've got to watch the wind direction. It does change. It seems to be a little bit random. It's not like, well, certainly where I live, the wind almost always comes from the same direction. In this game, it doesn't. And that's understandable why it doesn't, I guess. They've got to create a bit of variety. And all other symbols you can see, there is a heart symbol you can see below the green bar. The green bar is actually your health, which, like I say, can get taken away if you fall off something from a height, or if you get rammed by an animal, stuff like that. In the European map, there are bison and stuff like that. They tend to ram you if they're injured and you continue tracking them. They'll often ram you, which is a bit of fun. Below that you can see a heart symbol. That heart symbol shows you how fast your heart is beating. So if I run, you won't slow down, you'll be able to keep running. You can run across the entire map, but your heart rate will be very elevated, and when you go to take a shot, your gun will wobble around quite a bit. Some of the skills and perks can reduce that a little bit. The other symbol you can see there next to the heart is, it's an oval shape at the moment. That is your visibility. So if I walk, you see my visibility is increased, so that's a bigger circle right now. When I stop, it reduces a little bit. If I go into some bushes over here, la-di-da-di-da, like I'm right in here, you can see now it's a tiny little line and it's very dark, hard to see. If I move out of here a little bit, you can see now where we're going to get it, where the line becomes still a line. Come on, do it for me, baby, do it. Alright, at the moment it's a line with a little semicircle underneath. That's showing me that I have a sort of, I'm semi-concealed, but I'm still visible. If I get, you can get it where it's just the line. For some reason, I'm not getting it right now, but you can get where it's just that white line, which means you're pretty hard to see unless they get close. But when you get in like where the line sort of becomes dark, you're pretty much almost invisible. You're in cover. Next to that, you can see a speaker. Now that speaker looks like a speaker, an old-fashioned speaker. That basically says how much noise you're making. So right now, no noise. As I'm walking here, you can see the noise. It sort of has a white gauge, and then they turn red when you're making a lot of noise. You can see there I've got a few red bars. So from about 100 meters here, I'll be heard. The wind does affect how you're getting heard. So downwind, they will hear you better. Also, the speed at which you move. So I'm running or walking does affect. You can crouch. When you crouch, you can see here, I've only got white when I'm walking. I can do a run speed, and I've still only got white. I haven't got any red markers. But my visibility when I move faster will generally, even in a crouch position, your visibility does go up. It's not showing it going up at the moment because I'm out in the open, but when you're crawling through bushes and stuff, if you crawl faster, you become more visible, although you don't tend to make as much noise. You can reduce the amount of noise you make with perks and skills as well, but it's still, you can't make yourself silent or anything overpowered like that. So yeah, it also depends on the terrain. If you run through bushes like this, you will tend to make a fair bit of noise as well. But moving slowly, you can be like this. You can be pretty much almost silent. You can also go prone and crawl. And you can see here I'm making almost no noise and my visibility is very low. You can just wait in the open field like this, try and get something to come to you. And then let's say you've got a bow or something, then you could pop into a crouch position, take aim and shoot at it. As you can see, the bow is slow to aim. But if you're out in the open like this, as soon as you pop up into crouch position, you become sort of visible. So if they're really close to you, that sort of isn't a great tactic. A better tactic is to actually get into something like this. Crouch, get close to a bush like this. You can see my cover's really reduced here. Stay in a crouch position, use your call or whatever to attract them, and then nail them from this position like that. So yeah, so there is a fair bit of strategy in the game, and I do enjoy it. So I think I've waffled on a bit much. Oh, that other symbol you can see with a picture of a deer on it is there are some perks that you can unlock, and they sort of appear there. You can only have one perk activated at a time. So I currently have this perk here activated, which I've only got level 1, which unlocks zeroing of your sights for short range. So you can set the range at which you zero them. Oh, is that the one I have? No, that's not the one I have unlocked. Or the one I'm using. I have unlocked it, but I'm not using it. The one I'm using is this one here. Ability to gauge approximate distance to a target while aiming with any weapon. I can't get it to work. So you're supposed to press the F key to make it work. I press F. It does like a countdown from 6 to 0 and doesn't tell me anything. So it doesn't work. So there are a few things in the game that either don't work or they don't tell you how to use them, and I can't work it out. So yeah. Anyway, I will. What I tend to do in a game like this, if I'm just want to hunt coyotes, you can find areas on maps where there are what they call need zones. You have to visit them before they pop up on the map. So you can see here, it comes up down here. It says white-tailed deer. It's a need zone. So a need zone may be somewhere where they go to rest, somewhere where they go to eat. This is a drinking zone, you can see here. And it tells you at times. It says between 5 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. There are white-tailed deer normally in this area, because I've been there before and seen them eating or resting or whatever. This zone here is a drinking zone, and Roosevelt elk tend to drink here between 1700 and 21:30, so at night time. There is rain at the moment in the game, so you can. Thank you for watching part 1 of my introductory series, The Hunter Call of the Wild. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more, please subscribe to Reginaldesq. The next episode, part 2, will feature tracking mechanics and how it works, and a little bit of bow hunting. Have fun.